Okay, this is the last section we're going to go over in Chapter 9. It is Section 9.7. 9.7 has to do with secants and tangents and arcs, and not arcs, but chords and their distances. So this one has to do with the lengths of things. It does not have to do with the angles of things. Angles was the last one. This one is lengths. Now, when you're dealing with the last one, when we were talking about angles, we said it could cross inside the circle, on the circle, or outside the circle. When we're dealing with this one, we have to deal with chords inside the circle, secants, both of them being secants outside the circle, and then a secant and a tangent outside the circle, where they cross outside the circle. So here, when we talk about two chords, if two chords intersect inside a circle, the product of their lengths, that means we're going to be multiplying lengths, of the chords is equal to the product of the lengths of the other chord. So right here it says that AC, that's this little part, times this little part has to equal this little part times that little part. Multiply them together and they'll be equal. For the next one, if two secants intersect outside a circle like this, and then the products of the lengths of one secant, so this whole thing is our secant, and its external segment, so that's just that part. So this whole thing times that little part has to equal this whole thing times that little part, just the external part. The external times the whole has to equal the external times the whole. And then for this one over here, if you have a secant and a tangent intersect outside a circle, then the product of their lengths of the secant and its external part, so once again, the whole thing and then the outside, is equal to the square of this part. So it's this whole part from the circle on times the external part, which is from the circle on. That's why they square it. So those are the things that you learn in section 9.7. And once again, you write down the pretty words one time, but the part that you really need to remember is the formulas that go with them. So we're not really concerned about you remembering the letters unless you have a picture that goes with it. If you have a picture that goes with it, it's fine for you to just boil it down to this stuff. But if you don't have a picture that goes with it, then you're going to need the words, and that's not helpful. That's just a lot of words to try to remember. So I can go back now and erase the words, because you've already written them down. I know you. You paused a long time ago and wrote them down at the beginning of the tape. So I can go back and get rid of this and just have this shorthand to remind me that when we have intersecting chords, these lengths get multiplied and those lengths get multiplied. And here I have a pretty picture to remind me, so I can just go with what this says instead of having to worry about memorizing all of those words. Shorthand, the wonderful thing. And over here, I can get rid of the words and just remember this as long as I have the picture to go with it. So just like we did in the last section where there were 6 problems and I had you go over them and we actually plugged stuff in, that's what you're going to be doing. Only we're going to call it classwork this time. Well, we called it classwork last time. But this time, it's going to be all you. It's not me. I don't have to worry about it this time. I did it a long, long time ago. So, I lied to you. Darn! I said that I wanted to work out 3 of them for you. I'm so freaking kind. What in the world? Okay. Working out 3 of them for you. 3 of them for you because I'm kind and I'm ready to get rid of this plate. Just wanted you to know. The 3 that I'm working out for you are 1, 3, and 5 from the classwork exercises. Number 1 says 6, 9, 10, and X. Looks like this, something like they got a 6. Oh, which order did it go in? 6, 9, 10, and X. And then number 3, this is number 1. And number 3 will be over here. And number 3 had it 2 secants outside, 6x, 3, 7. 2 secants outside, 6, whoopsie, x, 3, 7, 6. Right? That's what I'm saying. And then for number 5, we had a secant and a tangent. That's my tangent. That's the secant. Pretend it works. X, 3, and 12. This one is 12. This one is 3, and this one is X. Okay, number 5. If I were you, I'd go ahead and pause it. Let's see how you do on these 3. Watch me do them real quick like. So for this one, we have this same setup, which means that I need to multiply 6 times X. And that has to equal 9 times 10, which gives me 6x is equal to 90. Divide both sides by 6. X is equal to 15. For number 3, it's not this one, it's actually this one. 6 times x has to equal 7 times 3, because it's the whole thing, times 3. So 6 times x is equal to 21. Divide both sides by 6. X is equal to 3.5. I'm saying it's 3.5. Ooh. They said 3.5. 3.5 is 3.5. From memory, let me tell you. For number 5, instead of using this one, because that one went with this with 2 secants, I'm using that one down there because it's a secant and a tangent. So that means that 12 times 3 has to equal x squared. 12 times 3 is 36 equals x squared. Take the square root of both sides. Going to have to be positive, so it must be 6. X is equal to 6. Simple, quick, and to the point. That was not your classwork. Just get that right out your head. That was out of the kindness of my heart, not your classwork. But since you asked, your classwork is on page 385. Numbers 1, 5, and 9. And then the homework is numbers 3, 7, 11, and 13. This is the last section. I already told you that part, but I'm going to tell you again. This is the last section in chapter 9, which means you are ready for a review and a test. I can see it in your future right now. I have no idea what they are going to be, but your mama knows. So talk to your mama about it, and she will get you the review and the test for chapter 9. And then chapter 10, you've already worked on some. And so we'll get to skip like half of chapter 10. So I'm going to smush chapter 10. It's remaining half, and chapter 14, it's remaining half together. And we're going to do that next. So yeah, make sure you do your homework and your classwork, and make sure you review, and make sure you make a good grade on the test. And you will see me